Right? Yeah, okay. Hey, I'm Megan Mitchell, and I'm here in the Thrive Market Test Kitchen, and today I'm gonna show you one of my favorite recipes, one I've been waiting to share with you guys, and it's a long title, so buckle in, guys. Gluten-free, brown butter, salted, dark chocolate chunk cookies. Woo! We're gonna have to go like paragraphs to talk about this. One of my favorite cookies. They are so good. And there's brown butter in my cookie, and the chocolate is made with brown butter. So it's double the brown butter. But before I get started, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you tune in and I hope you watch them. And please comment if you love chocolate chip cookies as much as I do. I wanna know. And also, if you're wondering what Thrive Market is, it's an online market that sells non-GMO and organic ingredients straight to your door. All right, let's get started. I wanna go back and talk about this chocolate again. This is the star of the show. I'm gonna read it properly. Deep, dark, salted, brown butter, organic chocolate. And it's fair trade, which is important when you think about harvesting chocolate and cacao. You want it to be fair trade. The butter in here is grass-fed, and the butter I'm using to brown is also grass-fed. And everything's gluten-free. Let's go over to the stove. Brown butter. If you've never browned butter, it's a bit of a process, but it's super easy. It goes through different steps. So, step one, put your butter in a pot or a pan. 1 cup or 2 sticks of unsalted grass-fed butter. What is brown butter? You're browning the milk solids in the butter, and it makes it nutty, and just like every butter should be brown butter. It's just so good. Keep an eye on your heat. You want it right around medium. If it's going too slow, you can bump it up. If it goes too fast, you might burn the milk solids. So you can see the bubbles dissipated. It's like gotten a little clearer, and when it bubbles up one more time, that's when it starts to brown, when it starts to smell nutty. But don't take it too far, because if it burns, then it's just really bitter and you have to start over again. You don't want to waste that grass-fed butter. Okay, it's foaming up again. It smells so good. Can you guys smell it? I can see all the little brown bits on the bottom of the pan. So I'm gonna remove it from the heat. I'm gonna let it cool slightly before I add it to my dough, because I don't want it to cook my eggs, and I don't want it to melt my chocolate. All right, I'll see you over there. Brown butter, back with my brown butter. It's chilled, not really chilled, it's cooled down slightly. I'm gonna put it in my stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can do this with a hand mixer. Get all of the goodness, all of those brown nutty bits. Brown sugar, dark brown sugar. This adds a nice chewiness to the cookie. I tested this a couple times, and I feel like chocolate chip cookies, people like them certain ways. Some people like them light and fluffy, some like them thin and chewy, some like them crispy like Tate's cookies. I like them a little chewy, crispy on the outside and soft and tender on the inside. The brown sugar will give you that chewiness. If you did all granulated sugar, you wouldn't get that chewy, crispy bite. So I'm doing a bit of both. Dark brown sugar, granulated sugar. I'm gonna cream these together. And they won't cream like if you use softened butter. So this is melted, usually use softened butter. So that's my little bit about butter. So mix this together until the sugar dissolves. It'll look like it's breaking, but once you add in the eggs, it'll come back together. Should take, I don't know, a minute or two. Scrape down the sides of the bowl as needed. You need 2 eggs, and you just wanna add them one at a time. And you'll see it goes from looking like it's broken or separated, and it'll come back together with the addition of the egg. And you always want to use room temperature eggs. So everything's the same temp, doesn't seize up your batter or your dough. I'm gonna add vanilla extract. Okay, scrape down the sides of my bowl. Because when I add the flour, I just want to make sure I don't have to overwork it. I don't want tough cookies. I'm a tough cookie. Okay, that's ready. I'm using Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1. This one gave me the perfect texture of a cookie, the perfect rise, and you can find it at thrivemarket.com/prepschool. So, gluten-free flour, baking soda, and baking powder, because I want that lift, and I want it to stay. It's what I'm looking for in a bra as well. Baking powder, baking soda, salt, and I'm gonna put salt on top. I really like salted cookies. Like if I have a chocolate chip cookie and there's no salt on it, I feel like there's something missing. It just enhances the flavors to me. Whisk this together. All right, I just wanna make sure everything is incorporated. So set this aside for a second. And I'm using not 1, not 2, but 3. And I'm using chocolate bars instead of chocolate chips. I think it makes it look kind of nice and rustic. And then one bite, you get like a big chunk of chocolate. And then another bite, you get a little chunk of chocolate. That's what I want. Little chunk, big chunk. Chocolate every day. All right, I'll show you how I cut this guy. Down the middle. Ooh, it smells like caramely. And then, that is it. And if this chocolate gets a little too warm, like my kitchen was real warm when I was making this, I had to pop them in the fridge because you don't want this just to melt when you add it into your batter. So no rhyme or reason, it doesn't have to be perfect. If some chunks are bigger than others, that's cool. That's fine. So like this guy, oh, this guy's a little big. This guy's, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna do that to 2 more bars. Okay, chocolate's ready. My gluten-free flour. I'm gonna slowly add this with my machine running. You don't wanna dump it all in at once. And you don't want it to be too high because then you'll have flour all over yourself in the kitchen. You just wanna mix it till you no longer see any flour bits. It's great. Chocolate time. Also, have you ever seen the movie Chocolat? Does not hold up.
Johnny Depp?
It does not hold up. I remember seeing it when it first came out, and I was like, oh, it's so cute. And then I watched it again, and I was like, oh, nope, nope, nope. Sorry, Johann Depp. All right, chocolate in. Stir by hand just until it's mixed through. Ooh, it's chocolate time. It's mixing chocolate into my cookie dough. Okay, I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees, sheet tray lined with parchment, and I am using a portion scoop or a cookie scoop with a lever. That way I know every single one of my cookies is exactly the same size. So when I scoop it in, I'm gonna flatten it against the side of the bowl. Oh, or am I? And these will spread a little bit, not like crazy, but give them some space to grow. I'm gonna do 5 on a tray, and I'm gonna push them down. So let me get 5 on it. Oh, I got 5 on it. Let me put 5 down, and then I'll push them down. Scooped. Take the palm of your hand and just gently push it down a little bit, or a smidge bit. I realize I say smidge bit in every episode. I did not know that until my producer told me. I like to bake in batches because I find if I put 2 sheets of cookies, they bake unevenly and one gets kind of gooey and one gets a little burnt. So this dough can hold, so do it in batches. Flaked sea salt. And this is also great if you want to scoop a bunch of them, pop them in the freezer. Pop them in the freezer, and then whenever you want one cookie, put it on a tray and bake it off. So you don't need to eat all of these at one time, unlike what I did when I was testing these. Freeze them and bake them off whenever you have a cookie craving. All right, pop them in the oven for about 10 minutes till they're golden brown and delicious. They're done. My cookies are done. So when you bake them, take them out at 10 minutes, let them cool for a minute or 2 on the tray, and then put them on a cooling rack to chill fully. I like hot chocolate chip cookies, but I kind of like these better room temp because you can really taste the brown butter and they get chewy and my mouth is salivating. I'm gonna try one. Y'alls, that looks insane, huh? I like the big chunks of chocolate. You can see the flakes of sea salt. You can't even tell they're gluten-free. I've tried them. Chewy, crispy around the edges, but soft and doughy on the inside. Oh, they're so good. I love chocolate chip cookies. I think this is the first thing I learned how to bake, and this is the last cookie I'm ever gonna bake because it's that good. And I hope you make it. I hope you try it. Do you love chocolate chip cookies? Have you ever made brown butter chocolate chip cookies? Let me know. You can find all the products that I use at thrivemarket.com/prepschool. Happy baking. Happy gluten-free baking. I mean, it sounds like a tiny mouse is back there doing work. What is happening? It's like, all I hear is whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah, just stand back here.
I'm trying to talk about cookies and I can't even focus.